and you've got to give people 2 or 3 minutes to come in through the door. Okay, so you'll see next to the participants button, when that number starts to grow, that means people have joined. And at this point, I will say my farewells and watch you on another screen. All right.
Yeah. Attendees 2.
Au revoir, Nadine.
Au revoir. À bientôt. Merci.
À bientôt.
Attendees 9. Attendees 10. Attendees 12. But I don't see how to make them join.
Here we are. Join.
Participants. But I haven't asked to join me yet. I honestly, I have allowed to talk, but I haven't got joined. Jonathan, how do I make them join? I've got guests, it's going up to 20. Hello, how are you? No, you can't see it.
Yours has disappeared again for me.
It's not asking me to join. That's not really nice. Jonathan, where is Jonathan? I can't, can you see where to join? It has attendees, but it doesn't say join the event.
No, maybe he has to let them join.
No, he said I have to. Where is Jonathan's number? Okay. Yeah. We can hear me. That's absolutely wonderful. Hi. There is no thing saying join. I can just see attendees 30.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Sorry. I'm live. Perfect. Thank you. I sincerely apologize to everybody that I cannot see that I am actually live. I didn't realize that because I thought I had to let you all in. But thank you very, very much for being there. And thank you for saying bonjour. I will have a chat up all the time. And I love participation. It's actually really, really hard to speak to a little nice green light there. So anything you want to share with me, you can put it into the question and answer box. There's no question yet. And there is also the chat. Bonjour, Liz. Thank you for writing bonjour. And as soon as I see you, I've got a guest saying coucou. I like it. Coucou. Coucou bibou. And I therefore welcome you to my session and will start sharing my screen. So here it comes. Abracadabra. That means I can't see my face anymore, which is fine because I know what I look like. But looking into the green is a little bit weird. So, sorry, just making sure that the sound works. Perfect. So I'm very, very honored to be here today, and thank you so much for attending this session. On a Friday afternoon, you must be very keen on languages, and I'm really, really pleased to be able to share that with you. So I would like to share with you the language learning for nurturing well-being, culture, and creativity. And I will try to explain as we go along what that actually means. So my name is Nadine Chadier. I'm the Directrice du Bilinguisme at a Harrow-based bilingual primary school, which we created in 2016. And as you can see, it's a very modern building. It used to be the WICS headquarters, and we have, I think, transformed it into a bubble of peace, a really multilingual, multicultural bubble of peace. And I'm going to show you, in a way, how we got there and the tips and tricks and everything that happens on an everyday basis. So we aimed, and I think we have achieved, to have an aspirational multilingual community, and we teach English and French, and we can call ourselves bilingual because the children are exposed to French every day, and they also do art and PE in CLIL every week. With some CLIL specialists, and we also sneak a bit of geography and CLIL in Key Stage 1. So I have tried to divide the presentation into nurturing well-being and culture and creativity, but you're going to see that most of the times these things actually are intertwined, so it's not kind of solid. It goes and flows one into each other. The first thing I'm going to ask you to tell you is to nurture well-being, I think you need to have classroom routines. And children need to know that as soon as you walk into the room, or they walk into a room, or you walk into a room, they need to be welcomed. They need to feel at ease. They need to feel they belong here, and they need to be welcomed with something familiar. And I think the most effective way of doing that is with a song. I wonder if you can guess this song, the French song, and if you know it, if anyone wants to tell me that they know En chantant of Michel Sardou. I don't recommend you use it with children because the lyrics, as in most French songs for adults, are quite rude, but I just love the fact that you can do everything en chantant. And the children walk in from play, or walking from another lesson, or I walk in and I make sure that very quickly before talking to them, I put the song on, and that just welcomes them wholeheartedly. And we have a huge repertoire of songs at Saint-Jérôme for everything, for absolutely every time of the day, for every season, for every cultural event. In January, we sing J'aime la galette, savez-vous comment? And the children don't see the galette song outside of January, so they really are very thrilled when they hear it again and say, oh, I love that song. So they get emotionally involved, and the emotion is important for the well-being and important for learning. I can't see anybody's favorite songs in the chat yet. I can't wait to see what they are. One of the songs that I really very happy to buy and share with you is not en chantant at the starting. Would love such a playlist. I have a Pinterest account on Saint-Jérôme, Nancy. And because now we host everything on Google Drive, I don't actually update the Pinterest board, because unfortunately you need to create a Pinterest account to go on it, and parents don't like to do that. And it takes a lot of maintenance because you never know when YouTube has taken a song away. So instead I have them internally on Google Drive, but you're welcome to look up Saint-Jérôme Bilingual Primary Pinterest, and there's still a lot of them there, but it's not updated. J'écris sur les murs, ou on écrit sur les murs. All the kids united songs are fantastic. The enfantastique songs are wonderful. But for daily routines, and I don't get any commissions from this, neither from Little Linguist nor from Sparkle Speak, I absolutely love the French songs for daily classroom routines. I think they're extremely affordable. Hoopla, sorry, I come back to them. And they have, so I sing, c'est midi, à table, allons-y, j'ai faim, yam, 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 bon appétit. And it says, bonjour les amis, qu'est-ce qu'on va faire aujourd'hui? On va lire, on va écrire, and then there is a bon weekend, bon weekend, which the children love. And so I think all this variety is really good to build into your routines. And as we are Church of England school, we also go un ami à droite, un ami à gauche, à tous bon appétit. So songs are very, very important, and build them in and make them seasonal so the children look forward to them. Mini TFO on YouTube, which is the Canadian channel, has some fantastic song. At the moment we're listening, L'automne est arrivé, and it's got all the vocabulary you need for the seasons and all. And Sparkle Speak has also got Youpi, youpi, ça y est, le printemps est arrivé. I could do a whole sessions about song. I learned English thanks to Yentl, the musical. I'm very, very passionate, and you will see I'll come back to songs at the end again. But just wanted to say how important that actually is to share songs. And sorry, I'm just quickly clicking through. I apologize that it didn't. I've gone somehow. I wanted to go to the next slide. What have I done? I apologize. I'm just quickly trying to find my presentation and why it doesn't click. Voila, to the next one. It is. And we have a song there from the pop video competition. That I will talk to you about l'Institut Français. But I also wanted to tell you that we say youpi a lot at Saint-Jérôme. And can you perhaps take a guess, when do we say youpi? Trying to get the chat up again. Anyone can guess, when do we say youpi? Obviously, I've given you lots of hints on the slides to see, but you can see when we say youpi. We say youpi when we make a mistake. because I think it's very, very important that the children understand that you are allowed to make mistakes, and that when we make a mistake, we all go, "Youpie." And when the children write on a little mini whiteboard, and there is a mistake, I ask them, "Youpie?" And they say, "Youpie." That means I can actually share a mistake with everybody, usually in English, to talk them through what is missing, or what are we going to correct, and all learn from. And it's a really great advantage to be able to celebrate everybody's mistakes. And there is a hyperlink you will find in the PDF I will share with you about a article about helping kids learn from their mistakes. And I think it's extremely important. And Youpi was the title of a French song we entered for the pop video competition, and that won the national award for that age group, which you will be able to watch another time. So that's just importance of learning from your mistakes. Another thing I think that is very important, so the children feel like a sense of belonging in the classroom, is to really celebrate their home and heritage languages. And at Saint-Jérôme, we have over 55 home languages. Children who don't speak every day French or English at home. We've got over 75% of children who are EL. And it's so important. There's been some studying that if you value the child's home language, then they will be much more open to language learning and have a better sense of identity. And it's just very, very important to make them feel welcome and refer to languages all the time. So there's an Enfantastique song that I have shared with you there. Dire bonjour, c'est joli, dans n'importe quel pays. And then in the middle, it says, hola, ciao, edge, privyet. And the children in year 1 do it in the end of a Bastille Day, end of year concert, and they hold up the flag the country comes from, and therefore it's just celebrating their languages, and we love it. And there is another song by Henri Dess called Polyglotte. And if I had known I was online already, I would have played it to you. But that's a really beautiful song that shows all the foreign words that are within the French language. And there is a dictionary of languages that I have on my desk. And when we have a child arriving from a country I don't know the language of, then I look up, does this language have gender? How do they refer to the future? Do they have determiners? What do they do with their adjectives? So just having a little bit of knowledge about their own language makes you can refer to it, and always invite them to say, what is it in your own language? And there isn't a single lesson when a child doesn't say what it is in their own language. And there's lots of Romanian words we have used recently. I know Turkish words like carton and pantalon, or pronounced carton or pantalon, because the children have actually referred to me. Please write if you have something to share with me. It would really encourage me. Now, I'd love to speak about the different tiers of vocabulary and how, when they feel at ease, when they feel welcomed in the language lesson, it's very also important to show them links. You can say qu'est-ce que c'est to this image, and you can say un arbre, but you can also say une forêt and la déforestation and things like that. And I think when you ask a question, it's very, very important to build on what the pupil just has said. For instance, if you say, what's the capital city of the United States? And they say New York, then you can say, New York is definitely a very, very important financial center. And it's so powerful that when they wanted to create Washington, the capital city, they thought, we can't have it New York because it's too powerful already. Let's have it somewhere else and create the city of Washington. Just try to build on what they have said instead of saying no or saying that's wrong. Even if we learn c'est vrai, c'est faux all the time, and I make jokes and I get things wrong all the time myself, so that we can go Youpi and learn together. I think to acknowledge whatever answer it is of a child, but without retaliating non straight away, is very important. It's very important also not to say but. I think because that opposes, you can just say and also instead of but. And the question why in English, why did you do this, or why did you usually there is no constructive answer. Just because I was being silly, because I was being disrespectful, no, you don't want to put their nose in it. So unless it's in the target language where we ask pourquoi and you earn parce que j'aime something, the rest of the time, just make sure that you use appropriate language in the target language and in the other languages. And nurturing is obviously embracing multilingualism, and there are lots and lots and lots of support from different organizations that I have listed there to really embrace EL and include your EL pupils, of course, in languages, because that's a place where everybody is learning a language and they will feel at ease. And most of the time, they are very good language learners, and don't let anyone get away from that. We have an introduction procedure at school where we welcome them. We have language nuts to make them do in English exercises and straight away put them on it. The same with using it for French. We assign them not just one peer body, but 2 peer bodies at least, otherwise it's a lot of pressure on one of them. And please make sure that everybody knows the importance of picture books so that they can follow languages lessons much better. What has worked also very well when we had non-English speakers coming to the school is to welcome them to breakfast club and also to after school club for free, because that's a place that they can play with other children. Otherwise in the classroom, they can't really play. In the playground, it's not very verbal. It's very, very important that you make sure that they can get included in other opportunities to have lovely conversations with them. And we have wonderful teaching assistant student trainees who come volunteer in our school. And we try to take a variety of different languages, original languages from them, so that we have also a register at reception with all the languages the adults speak and the children speak. And as soon as a new child comes in, I walk around the school, introduce them all the speakers of the same language to just make them feel at ease. Getting them to draw a language portrait, a body with different flags representing what languages they already know, is also something that gives a great sense of nurturing and identity. And we use any opportunity to do some multilingual reading. So World Book Day, which is March, Mother Tongue Day, which is in February, and European Language Day in September. We ask children to record themselves reading in their home language, and we share that in our classroom and during assembly and worship. And it's been very interesting because one German mum said to me, oh, my child wasn't interested anymore in reading in German, but because you've asked her to video it, she's videoed it, and she has done it more often since, and she's picked up German books again because you value those. And the valuation of it is very important. Thank you, guest, for having written a nice message with a nice tournesol. We also have this huge map displayed in the entrance of the school, where we have put little dots during parents' evening. Parents have walked in and put a little red sticker where they come from or where they have family from. And so we can straight away see how multilingual international we are. And the next step for us is to put, parents' evening was this week, is all the staff will put a blue sticker, so where they are from. And then again, it's a beautiful geography link and shows that we all belong to the same planet and the same earth, and we try to make it a better place. To again value home languages, the Goldsmith College, University of London has an absolutely beautiful critical connections multilingual storytelling project. And we have linked it in the last few years with our Planet Club. And so the children who attend the Planet Club then make a video about the subject of a topic that the critical connection is suggesting for that. And then there is a film festival that goes with it. And the children can record themselves in their home language, make posters in their home language, and we display those and value it. And they're part of this festival and they're showcased on the website. I wonder if anybody else has worked with critical connections before. Please let me know. This is just a bit of research about multilingualism in the family, and educating people is very, very important. Families also, when we welcome them on an open day, we always say, never give up on your home language. Carry on speaking, even if the children eventually answer in English, carry on speaking because they're only going to have a sense of loss of identity and culture, and they're going to reproach it to you as you are an adult. Thank you, Gemma, for telling me that you have been into Critical Connection, raising your hands. I hope you enjoyed that project as much as we did. Now, again, to make links between the English language, where we are surrounded by in England, and French in that case, there is this absolutely beautiful video TED talk that is animated called How the English Language Evolves. And from year 4, every year, we do use this video, and it has a very interesting exercise that if I had more time than 45 minutes, I would actually do with you, but it would be taking too long, so I'll just explain to you. So after a quick introduction, actually within the first few seconds, they say, I went to a place last week, and they gave me a hearty welcome. And we get to children to draw, what does it mean to be given a hearty welcome? And most of the year 4 pupils are quickly really lost, unless they're big readers, they can't relate to what you're asking. So I said, but what was I wearing when I went there? By the way, I'm wearing all the ALL, Association for Language Learning, and Institut Français badges, with the blue and the coquelicot. That's what were you eating? What were you drinking? What was I doing there? What did people talk to me about? What did the place look like? And they just try to imagine it. And then we have turned the page and say, and next week I'm going to go to a place, and I know they're going to give me a cordial reception. What is a cordial reception going to look like? Am I going to wear the same outfit? Am I going to eat the same food or drink something differently? Who's going to be with me? What are they going to talk to me about? And the first time you do it, especially when they're young, they are a little bit lost, but slowly and slowly, because of the animation, then telling you about 1066 and the Nordic languages coming in, and 1066 with the Norman language coming from the French, being very educated, and the upper classes, and they brought all the clergy with them and all the cooks, and then the peasants were the ones who speaking Old English. Then you do get the hearty welcome being much warmer and much more of a cozy pub and drinking beer and wearing tweed or, casually, whereas a cordial reception is with a glass of champagne and an amazing chandelier, etc. So it's something really worthwhile doing. And from then on, we make posters in every classroom where they collect words that come from the Nordic or the Germanic and the French. So, for instance, we have the word wedding and marriage, and next to each other, and that really helps them improve also the level of formality and when they divide formal letters or not formal letters, and increases their vocabulary range tremendously. So those are the images of the hearty welcome and of the cordial reception. Have we got still somebody there listening to me, or am I speaking in a void? I wonder. In the same way, somebody there has raised a hand. Thank you so much. That's very kind. Oh, another one. It is a bit of a spooky experience. Somebody's enjoying it. Thank you so much. That's very kind. And the word formidable, what great timing, is exactly what I'm going to talk about. Thank you, guest, notre invité. We collect words, as you can imagine, as Sarah Jerome, as I said already. There's the difference between to enter and to go in. But we also collect words that are cognates. And it's so cute to have a year 2 child saying, merci, Christiane. What is a cognate? And they say it's a word that you recognize. And we show the kn sound in it. A cognate is a word you recognize between languages. And we then taught them also that they are des vrais amis, and they know the word ami. And there are much more vrais amis in the world than false friends, mauvais amis. And those are little vocabulary cards about subjects that have been created within widget, and we then underline the word like adolescent and agriculture. So when they learn higher tier words, like I briefly explained with it's a tree or it's a forest or it's deforestation, where our job is to make them very vocabulary rich. The higher in the vocabulary tier they are, the more similarities there is to actually the more similarities there is between the French and the English. Sorry, I was trying to make sense of something written in the chat. I'll try to think about it later. The word altitude. So it's really mutually satisfying. And when we have a new word, we say c'est identique with our arms, or c'est similaire, or c'est différent. And sometimes it's a false friend, but that actually happens very, very rarely in time. So it's very important. I can just see in my slide, we always have to correct adulte should be underlined up to the T, but not the E on both words. It's actually because it's got a little bit of a difference between the two spellings. So that's what you have to say, the two words. If it's exactly the same, then you have it underlined and you only write it once. I just understood that guest is Madame Cox. Got it. Merci. Super. This is how they get displayed. So that was the topic, sow, grow, and farm. And you can see all our words. And if they have the French, they also have, for instance, the gender on it, le grain. Especially if sometimes it goes against the rule. And then the children can express themselves. I'm pleased you had a giggle about the false friends, les faux amis, but honestly, there are much more real friends. A lot of people go, oh, you can guess what it means, but don't guess too much. Actually, no, most of the time you can guess. It's an educated guess. This is the tiered vocabulary that I wanted to talk to you about. In primary school, most children know the tier 1 vocabulary, and our job is to get them to tier 2 vocabulary and tier 3 vocabulary. And being aware of that prepares them well for secondary school is very important as an educator, to be aware of those tiered vocabularies. Our wonderful Claire Seacombe, who's got a fantastic website, Lightbulb Languages, we all certainly know, has produced those most beautifully designed and images that we, when you print them, are A4, beautiful image and a link between the root or the words. So for instance, I'm just looking at the cat because I'm feeling attracted to a cat now in the middle. It's got to hunt. In English, you can also say to chase, and in French, it's chasser. And we had one in the dining room with ville and veau. And 5-child recently, I don't know how the word veau came up, and he knew it. And I just looked at him and said, where do you know that? He said, it's displayed in the dining room. So even if you're not actively teaching it, it's really lovely to have that around. And so our whole school is absolutely plastered with those beautiful things. You need a bit of a budget to print them off and to laminate them, but they are very worthwhile. And I'm eternally grateful to Claire for having spent so much time and putting them for free on her website. And also there are links with other languages. She does it also with Spanish and with Italian, I think some German ones also. And if there's a word you want, you just write to her and she magically makes the time to do it. So merci beaucoup, Claire. This great game about word of languages, it's very important, I think, to use ICT and link it and try to sneak into the ICT lessons, so more French, also more languages, always getting the ICT teacher to do our language magician tests every September because it meets some of the skills. And this is a wonderful world of languages, little games that children really enjoy playing, and I recommend. And I think that everything I have here is hyperlinked, so when you get the PDF, you can just click on it and find it. And this is just representing culture and language. When we have an EL child coming into Saint-Jérôme in Key Stage 1, we have been doing those little booklets, and then they're also inviting them to come and wear something from the country they came from. You can see the writing in English is very basic and it's very supported, but they feel so proud to be able to show when we display their photos around. Where the first sentence that year 2s learn to write is je suis capable, je suis adorable, je suis fantastique, because our rules are very simple at Saint-Jérôme. You've got to be safe, you've got to be kind, and you've got to go over and above, which always I get wrong. Usually I say beyond and over, but hopefully it's over and above. And we display those things on our fantastic board. And again, they therefore learn how to write that on a whiteboard from memory. And it's very empowering for them to do that, and we display it. And here I just wanted to share with you, we had a child coming straight from Spain, straight into an art CLIL lesson that was run in French, and he managed to do the exercise and write the descriptor in Spanish. And I think encouraging children to write in their home language is very important. And sometimes we do poetry also, where the home language is squeezed in. I do believe in exercise in between lessons for transition. So if sometimes a French lesson and the children were already in the class, when we put a 5 a day on, gives the teacher 5 minutes to just breathe and land, as we usually peripatetic and racing around. But also there is French, which I use all the time, but there's also other languages that they really enjoy. So I recommend this definitely. And just showing you how children have inspiration. This is a child who produced out of the blue my first Portuguese workbook. She was then in year 4 and she started teaching her friends Portuguese through the book. And a parent told me that a year 3 child has made up a completely new language, but not just the vocabulary, she was teaching them the grammar also, which just proves that they can actually do languages. I will come perhaps to the questions later. I've just seen them. I'm so pleased, Lisa Burrows, that you're enjoying. So I'll carry on. We have a wonderful Key Stage 2 bilingual nativity that year 2 are the actors in, and year 1 sing the songs off. And we make sure that we get Silent Night at the end of the program, sung with a little bit of snippet of every language represented in the year 2 cohort. And we started that during COVID when we had to record the nativity. And so we asked the children to send us the song in their home language, and then we edited it. And that was just so touching. And we also have children saying Happy New Year in different languages and make a little montage of this, so to feel them included. Getting on to culture, and I don't know how much time I have. And obviously you've seen that it's already very, very interlinked. I am very, very honored to do a leadership training this year, hosted by Royal Opera House. And it's for leaders to consider promoting cultural learning within the curriculum and a wider community. So I'm deep into culture. And I do think the only way we can make time for culture is making time for culture and language together. And so what do we mean by cultural learning? It's obviously an active engagement with the creation of arts and heritage. And it's also about learning through culture. And I think those two conceptions are very interesting. It's not just, I know what the Eiffel Tower is, I can dance a French cancan, which can be hilarious, but it's also how you can create your own thing of an interpretation of something else. And I think that's worth keeping in mind. So our children here from reception, with Camembert, that was created by Head Start Languages, Leanne Jefferson. He is our mascot, and he comes on educational visits to Paris with us. If a child is sad, he cuddles them. He's at the gate opening the school with me most morning, and you can see that he's culturally very interesting because he sits in front of a French and an English letterbox and knows how to bake a galette des rois. The first thing receptions learn is bleu, blanc, rouge with a camera pause, and just through singing again and through culture coming in. We are very lucky and to be going with your 5 and your 6, 120 children to the Institut Français on Tuesday from Harrow into central London to see this absolutely beautiful animation. And I wanted you to look up, please, the intofilm.org organization, which is sponsored by BFI and has been absolutely invaluable in my life because they just give you amazing material on their internet for free about how to make videos, how to edit them and empower the children. But they also, despite spelling language on this sheet wrong, on their website wrong, it's not me, they have foreign language films, and you can stream them if you become an Into Film Club, which is for free. But they also have festivals all across the country. And that usually gets released beginning of September. You have to be very quick to grab some spaces. But this Sampé film is absolutely wonderful. And every year we take at least 120 children to the cinema. Sometimes it's hosted in London at the Barbican, sometimes l'Institut Français, but I know they are all over the country and worth really look into. And this is a selection of films that I know are safe. Make sure, in the same way I said that Michel Sardou's song is not very safe for children, En Chantant, it's very important that you watch a French film first, and I would say a Spanish one too, because they don't have content usually in the same way, on the same level as English, and their ratings are very, very different. But those are the ones that I have shown that have been enjoyed. I was amazed one day that a year 5 child boy came to me and said, Azur and Asmar, the most beautiful film he had ever seen. And l'Institut Français is at the moment showing another Michel Oslo. And my children now are well into their late teens, and I'm going to surprise them to take them to the latest Michel Oslo film because they're just so magical. Kirikou is also by Michel Oslo, is wonderful. You have to pre-warn the parents because it represents an African tribe where some people are sometimes naked from the waist up. And so you have to check first with the parents if that's okay. But those are really brilliant films that I have shown. Une vie de chat, you have to be a little bit careful with younger pupils. It's more an end of key stage 2 because there's a scary man at the end. And those are some more other films. Mr. Bean's Holiday is actually a really, really fun way to introduce to culture and stereotype and have a conversation. And obviously, I can't recommend enough the film version of Le Petit Prince. I was very scared when the Americans released it, but it is actually a masterpiece. And this one is absolutely fantastic because it's made up of 3 different 20 minutes animations. And one of them is wonderful to show just before Christmas. So at the end of term, you can just show them a 20-minute film. By the way, don't let any teachers show English films in the school. It has to be in a foreign language. Educational visits. Last year, for the first time, we managed to take our year 6 pupils to France. This year, because of Paris attacks and bomb threats recently, we had to cancel the day before the trip, but hopefully we're going in the spring. So first year we got the Turing grant. This year we didn't get the Turing grant. But please don't hesitate to contact me if you want some more help with educational visits. I'm so pleased, Lindsay, that you loved Ernest and Celestine also a lot. And the film, I was scared with Ernest and Celestine too, but this film, it's based on the book written by Daniel Pénac, a wonderful author who used to be a teacher. And it's, again, a story within a story. So it's not the story retold, it's a story around the story, which is wonderful. And just showing, obviously, you know the benefits of taking children abroad. They kept a little diary, and you can see it's a Clairefontaine diary we gave them. And on the right-hand side, you can see that it starts on the Eurostar journey back. Your 6th child started writing in English. And as she was listing the names of the buildings she has seen, she swapped into writing in French. And she came up to me and said, Madame Chaudier, I hadn't noticed that my brain went into French after writing the names of the buildings in French. That was the best gift anyone could have given me, really, for having taken them on a trip, which obviously was quite tough. Yes, definitely. Please, please, please start a film club in primary. Recommendations from German and Spanish. Unfortunately, I haven't got any because I haven't been exposed to it. But I'm sure if you know the Facebook group, Primary Language Teachers, LIPS, if you asked there, I'm sure lots of them will be responding. LIPS. You have in your profile to say that you're an MFL teacher, but it's the most wonderful, nurturing community. And I'm amazed I'm not wearing a LIPS badge today, but a lot of us follow LIPS on Facebook. I wonder if we have lots of Lipsies with us today. This is just a display of our partner school. We've got 2 partner schools, one in the Lorraine and one in Acher that we have visited recently. And I would therefore recommend to you that if you have partner school, even if it's at the foundation level, to contact the British Council to have an International School Awards. Makes everybody proud and happy. And I couldn't recommend more of a French pop video competition, and organized every year by the Institut Français. They give you resources to think about it and how to present it to the children. And we, in 2020, when we came back in March, all children came back to school. Sorry, in March 2021, when we all came back, I had to make the choice whether our children were going to go for the DELF exam that year, or if we were going to do a pop video. And we've made a pop video called Youpi, the first one I showed earlier, and we've made a pop video ever since. And twice we were national winners. Last year that we were just regional winners, but I don't care, because now the whole project is led by children. So obviously the outcome is not as professional as it used to be when we had more parental help and teachers' involvement. Now the year fours sing the songs that the year fives have written the lyrics for and the music for. And this year six film the year four children sing and edit the video and submit it. And I honestly don't mind if we don't ever win a prize again, because the point is now that it's a tradition with Saint-Jérôme, but we do it, and that it is all child-led. And on top of that, this year, I'm going to really work very hard to see how we can make sure that absolutely every child is involved in the project. Obviously, all year fours were singing, that's not the problem. But to get all children to be involved in the writing the lyrics and writing the music is quite difficult. But that's what I'm going to try to research, how we can make that happen. And also in the editing and filming of a video, it's always the same children, as you know, who come forward. And so I'm working very hard this year. That's the project for my Royal Opera House Leaders for Impact, is to see how we might create a model so to ensure that cultural learning is accessed by all. And I would like to share the outcome with you and the strategies we're going to bring up, and hopefully then share each time we have a cultural event in Saint-Jérôme, that we make sure that that happens as much for sport as for languages. And at the end of last year, we fulfilled one of my dreams. When we opened with 60 reception children in 2016, I knew I wanted them to perform Le Petit Prince on stage by end of year 6. And thanks to the support of Harrow School, the private school up the hill, we were able to rent their theatre when they were on holiday. And I took the text by Saint-Exupéry. You can get it as a PDF. I reduced all the words into just the dialogues, made it into 23 scenes. So we had 23 Petit Prince. I wrote some lyrics, a friend wrote the music, that the year 5 were singing songs in between the scenes, and we performed it. And it was absolutely magic to have those children on stage. And out of 60 children who started with us, unfortunately in year 6, we only had 28 remaining, because Harrow is a very transient borough. But out of those 28, 17 of them I could study Le Petit Prince with, just in French, after they'd done their SATs. So if you would like one day to know more about how to stage something like this, I would be more than happy to discuss it with you. I couldn't have done everything I've been doing without the help of l'Institut Français, who has been very generous in offering us authors' visits, in offering us to go to the cinema. That's through Interfilm, but there's been lots of things they're giving us. And we got the Label France Éducation, which means accreditation of language excellence from the French government. But still, I do believe that please reach out to your cultural institutions, because I know that the Goethe Institute, the Instituto Cervantes, and Italian consulate, the Romanian embassy has contacted, have reached out, and I'm trying to organize a Romanian language club for our 50 Romanians so that they can carry on their language at their own level. And that seems to be sponsored by the Romanian consulate. So if you have Romanian children, please don't hesitate to reach out, get in touch with the different organizations, because they are there to support, and they have wonderful people working at their educational departments. And just very quickly, because I think I've only got a few minutes, or 1 minute, and there's a slide to show you afterwards. Quickly, write to me, please. Now, what will you do? From what you have seen, what are you going to take away? What are you going to apply straight away? Have I inspired you to do something differently on Monday morning? Is there something you're going to explore more? I would love to know. More singing, definitely. UP for mistakes. Thank you, Miriam, for the singing. UP for mistakes. Claire is definitely worthwhile, definitely. And you, when you say something wrong, to say c'est vrai or c'est faux and laugh it. The displays are year-round and you recycle them if you laminate them from one year to the other. Perfect. The world map, thank you. I'm very pleased, Sam, Lisa, that you have found it useful. Iris, the song at the beginning of every session. I would like to make the PDFs available, so don't hesitate to find them. Wow, in January you'll be working in international school in Slovenia, Kate. If you can get me as a guest speaker there, I'll come out and visit you. That would be absolutely wonderful. And please, you've shared with me what you will do. And I am so thrilled that I could share my passion with you. And I hope it's been useful. I have to mention Association with Language Learning, because all my inspiration and all my charging up my own batteries has gone through ALL. I've been a member for years and years. Thank you. I hope that your passion is certainly contagious to your pupils too. This is an offer code to join. I have with me in my living room now, most wonderful friend. Can I go there and can you see her here? Miriam, who runs the primary language hub of London. And we decided to do this London Live together in the same room to keep each other company. I run the North London Primary Hub. We have a most amazing Helen Myers who organizes ALL London branch. And we meet in January, the January event and the June event on a Saturday morning, either at BBFI or the Institut Français, vers the Kidneys. And in March, we have a World Language Conference, which we're going to be at. And I just have met the most inspiring people. Like Ellie, who was just talking before me, and I can't name them all. Krista is absolutely wonderful at working for ALL, supporting it. Everybody from Stephen Forbes to Helen Myers to Catherine Cheater originally, and they are the people who also inspire me, charge out that energy. And you think I'm not the only mad one out there. So if you want to reach our club, this is how to do it. Thank you, Anoushri. And I would like to formally invite you to the West London Language Network. It's going to happen within our school. I've got the dates already there. It is really hard to get teachers out of their classrooms or after school now. And I understand why, because everybody is so busy. But reach out and don't hesitate to write to French at Saint-Jérôme bilingual.org. I've put it in the chat again, or nadine.chadier at saintjeromebilingual.org. If you can come to one of those events, if you are near Harrow, I'd be very happy to host and share with you what we're doing. And I have included also some more resources at the end here, at the end of the presentation of other websites that I find interesting. But thank you so much. I hope I haven't gone over too much, 2-3 minutes perhaps. I have a question in the chat that I can see. Where do you find all the songs? I had said mostly it's YouTube, spending hours and hours on YouTube and looking at them and thinking. There is Alain Lelay as a name who's very useful. Other places I spoke about, the Sparkle Speak. BBC, the BBC has a fantastic primary songs. And there is a series of a BBC called Virtually There, which is with France and Spain. And and also there is on the BBC Papo, who is a video, and he does exist in several languages. And it's a primary school visit. You do Papo primary school visit of the BBC. They have absolutely wonderful resources. The BBC years and years ago also used to do 15 minutes plus. So it's worth just looking on the BBC's website what there is, and the Pinterest of Saint-Jérôme if you want to see straight away the songs. that I'm using. Yeah, c'est bon. Thank you so much for everybody for being here, and please reach out, and I look forward to meeting you at another time. And thank you, Jonathan, for organizing this London Live. It was absolutely wonderful when we used to also be able to give each other a hug, but this is better than having nothing. And I'm very grateful he's given us this platform. Merci beaucoup tout le monde et au revoir. À bientôt. Salut, au revoir, à bientôt. Et bravo! Au revoir.
You're a good girl.
Hi, Jonathan.
I'm just going to end the session for you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
It's a different, it's interesting, isn't it? There's been far less interaction than last year.
We're still live, so I think, shall we end this and come back?